I'm always nervous that first couple of seconds when you start to open the doors and nobody comes in.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We will get started in about 1 minute. Matter of fact, while we are giving that minute for the last minute, folks, I will go ahead and do my housekeeping. My name is Bill McNutt, and I am the technical facilitator here. Mr. Priddy is going to be discussing the best for all. And I had just a couple of housekeeping notes. Everybody please be aware that this session is being recorded, both for you to review later and for other folks who can't attend. So please be mindful. The chat facility is not going to be in Zoom. We are using the chat facility over on the CTE website. Y'all are welcome to participate over there. I will be monitoring that and drawing Mr. Priddy's attention to any critical points that you need to make over there. Oh, and be aware, also be mindful that that chat is available to everybody attending the conference. That is everything that I've got. So I'm going to minimize my video so as to not be a distraction, and I'm going to let you guys go ahead and get started. I know that we have a lot of material to get through and not a whole lot of time.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. And my name is Gary Priddy with Certification Partners. My company, we produce industry certification courses around different technologies. I don't know if many people are familiar with CIW. There should be some people I know offer it in Tennessee, but I'm going to go over today Certification Partners, CIW, Certified Internet Web Professionals. We could be under any one of those names. Certification Partners is our parent company. I'm going to talk about our vendor neutral courses and certification value, CIW pathways and career pathways, and items for successful learning, especially in times like now. I'll just say good afternoon as well, because I'm in Arizona. I know you guys are ready to go into the afternoon. But with COVID and everything happening, I know it's challenging times, especially if they're going to go straight online or face-to-face. Some schools are going straight online, some are doing hybrids. So we do have some great tools to really help in these matters. So just to kind of give you a kind of a history of Certification Partners CIW, we're one of the leading vendor neutral certification series for information technology in the United States, or actually around the world. We create specific IT career pathways for students and professionals of all ages. We do offer even self-study kits for individuals that are even beyond high school, that are not even going to college. We have core curriculum focuses on foundational standards and job skills that enable internet function, including web design, web development, administration, network, databases, and security. We comprise of extensive series of curriculum and high-stakes certification exams, teaching IT in foundational and specific career paths. So one unique thing about our company, we provide, for teachers, we provide basically a turnkey solution. We're not just a curriculum provider, but we also provide all the resources, test prep, and certification exams. And I'll go over that with our course content that we provide here in the next couple of slides. But getting into more of the history, just to let you know how long we've been in business. We've been in business since the 90s. We're recognized in more than 90 countries. So we're not just in the United States, we're around the world. A lot of professionals use our certifications. We have this number has changed, more than 201,000 professional IT certifications since 1997. That number has gone up, and on our website, which later on I'll give you a link to our website. We do have success stories on there. I have one in here from a gentleman in the UK, Jonathan King. Before gaining CIW certifications, I had a dead-end job, says Jonathan King. However, after gaining certification, I was offered the first web developer job that I applied for, 10 years on, and now I earn 3 times as much annual than my previous non-career-based job. So we do really help out a lot of individuals, especially in the IT sector, getting good paying career jobs. moving forward, with the people in the audience, I don't know exactly what some of you are teaching, but with our course content, a lot of the areas that we really focus in on is web software developers, SharePoint administration, software and web developer like level 3, senior web developers, IT, security, networking, and web applications developers. I put this information up here for the fact that when people do job searches on Indeed, CareerBuilder, Jobbing.com, if you were to go into these sectors on those sites, a lot of the skills that those jobs require are things that we actually embed in our curriculum. So a lot of the individuals, like the state of Florida, for instance, I work with headhunters that actually look for talented individuals coming out of high school and getting them basically entry-level jobs in these sectors. We use CareerBuilder for these. So these are some of the areas. If you're teaching a derivative of this, we do have products that can fit your needs. Getting into our curriculum. So I know the state, you have your pathways, your capstones of what you need to teach. Within our embedded curriculum and certifications, we actually have 5 different series. I took one of the series off this list. We have a Web Foundation series, which consists of Internet Business Associate, Site Development Associate, and Network Technology Associate. We have a Web Design Specialist series. I didn't put that series on this list because we are taking that off, I believe, for my developer at the end of December. It's an older course. It is approved by the state with certification in the state of Tennessee, but we're taking that off, and the Web and Mobile Design series is replacing it. The Web and Mobile Design series consists of 7 courses. 3 of them, however, we haven't fully finished yet, but I have links in the next couple slides to show you if you want to learn more information on those particular courses. So under the Web and Mobile Design series, we have the Advanced HTML, 5 CSS3 Specialist. We have User Interface Designer, Social Media Strategist, Data Analyst, Multimedia Specialist, Mobile Application Developer, and E-commerce Service Specialist. We have a Web Development series including JavaScript Specialist, Database Design, and Perl. I know a lot of people look at Perl and they go, why is that still there? It's a language that's been around probably for several decades now. We do sell it into a lot of government entities because it does have a lot of Perl is one of those unique languages. It's actually a very difficult language to learn, but it does kind of derive into other different languages. So it builds up. So we have a lot of government entities that still utilize it. So I keep it on there. I don't have high schools that really use it. And then we have our Web Security Associate certification. And we just updated our JavaScript and web security just in the last several months. So those courses have been updated just recently as well. So under that first series I was mentioning, the Web Foundation series, very popular at the high school level. We have colleges that utilize it too. Internet Business Associate. This course, if you're familiar with CompTIA IT Fundamentals, it's a very similar course to IT Fundamentals. It gets into a lot more aspects than IT Fundamentals, and it's actually a lot more affordable. This course goes over a lot of different technologies, providing individuals to understand the different jobs that are out there in information technology. It gets into web browsers, project management, security, networking. It gets into some web components. It gets into databases. It's a great course to introduce students to technology. I find that it helps, especially with CTE, it helps track students. So when they take this course, they can get into different silos, meaning they do these different exercises through each lesson, learn these different techniques, and you'll start to find that students will say, I love doing the web design aspect of things. I want to get more in depth in web design, or they like doing networking, so they want to drive more into networking. The one thing when I taught this course, I found is I think every individual on this planet should learn or take a course like this, because even if you never take another technical course in your entire life, it really does save you. It really helps that individual to be more safe online using social media. It teaches you how to configure emails, how to ping servers. Say if your internet goes down and you can't communicate with your ISP provider, you can actually do some diagnostic tests without getting on a phone and being on hold or being with tech support for 40 minutes. So you can actually do some diagnostics on your side. So it really helps individuals out. Our Site Development Associate course, is a great course because this course specifically gets into designing web pages. So students coming in here, they're going to learn how to do HTML5 using Notepad++. They're going to be able to go in and create web pages, validate code. So a big thing that employers like about this course is it's not teaching them just a specific application. They can go right into the company and they can go, hey, this person, if they're learning like Flash or Dreamweaver or something that's more application-based, the individual can go in and see if there's code streams that are incorrect and validate and fix those code. And that's very important for a lot of employers. And the student can create really dynamic websites. And we have another course that gets really into interacting those websites. Network Technology Associate is a great course that we offer in this foundation series. This course teaches basically foundational networking. So it's teaching students components in computers like motherboards, the components on the motherboard. It's teaching them how to connect to the network. I sell this course into a lot of schools that really want students to understand networking from a foundational perspective. A lot of schools that are offering Cisco and say CompTIA Net Plus, instead of jumping their students directly into a pretty rigorous course and maybe it's a little over their head, this course will get them really prepared for that particular course. Each one of these courses in this series has its own certification. So it's something that the school can implement. If the school in your district uses all three of these certifications and the student passes all three, it is a certification that is approved by the state. We do have a comprehensive exam that encompasses all three tests in one test. At the high school level, I don't recommend that exam because it's just too comprehensive and students, it takes about an academic year to teach all three of these courses. And students sometimes don't do as well. I just rather do one course, do the certification at the end, do the next course, do the certification, and so on. They're more successful in that route. Our next series, and I eliminate the web design specialist because we're taking that off here at the end of December, but our next series is our web and mobile design series. In this series, we have 7 courses. 3 of them, or 4 of them are developed like the ones I'm showing you here. The other 3 were still in development. So advanced HTML, this is approved by the state with certification. And I'll show you in a later slide where it's approved. But it's approved by the state in certification. It's different than the site development course, that this course gets into more of JavaScript implementation. So you can make a more interactive website. So students can create more dynamic websites with this course. It's 10 lessons long. It's one of our biggest selling courses that we offer. Then getting into our user interface designer course, we wanted to create a course that from that web design specialist I said that we're getting or we're terminating in December. It was a 32 lesson course, very comprehensive, and it covered all these different aspects. So we created all these courses to kind of fit those needs and make them into more modules for schools that they can kind of fine tune what they want to teach. But user interface designer is a great course to get that end user experience. So when students go through here, they're going to be able to basically deploy appropriate color schemes and tones. Basically, it's a course that we've designed to really, if you're creating a website, you have to really understand the wants and needs of the end user. And this course is going to teach all those tools to create a more comprehensive website that's going to be more user-friendly for that end user. It's a big course that we sell. We do sell this course into high schools. A lot of colleges utilize the course. Been very successful with it. Another course in this series is our social media strategist course. And one thing about social media is everybody knows, all the kids are on Twitter, they're on Facebook, posting things that they probably shouldn't be posting, and it gets to be a challenge. I have 2 boys, one's 20 and one's 17, one's in high school. And some of the things I tell them, they should be watching what they're posting. It's challenging with kids, but this social media course really is a great course because social media is a big presence in design. So we've designed this course to really help individuals when they go into companies to identify successful social media campaigns for organization using crowdsourcing and crowd shaping strategies, explaining user tracking techniques. Basically, this is a great course just to see where all this data is going, getting into our next course. I know I may be going fast, but at the end of this presentation, I can give you access, any of the participants access to any one of these courses to really drive the car so you fully understand it. I know that some of this information may be quick, and I just want to be courteous on your time because I know you have different sessions you want to get in today. But our data analyst course is really taking it to the next level as of seeing where data is going. How do you compile this data, make sense of all this data? So we wanted to create a course where a person can go in and they can basically compile all the data from different marketing, sales, technique, customer service relation tools, and compile it and make sense of it where they want to design their specific goals. So this data analyst course is great for any individual getting into web design and wanting to learn how to compile all the data. Now, with the other courses in this web and mobile design series, I do have links, and this PowerPoint is saved on the state website. These links are for the other 3 courses. We have an e-commerce service specialist coming out, multimedia specialist, mobile application designer. So these are 3 courses that should be available here in this upcoming school year. I can give more information if people are interested on what is entailed, like the course description of these courses. It may change a little bit while we're designing them, but on our website, we do have more detailed information on these particular courses. Our web development series is very popular. So as I mentioned earlier, Perl, we don't sell into a lot of schools. We do have government entities that actually utilize it. But the most popular course in this series is our JavaScript specialist, which is approved by the state. The certification is approved by the state. JavaScript is very important because it's a client-side scripting language, and you can actually, there's free software to make it even server-side, but being client-side, so if you're teaching PHP on server-side, people should understand JavaScript because 95% of search engines and browsers utilize JavaScript. It is used in gaming as well for interactive pieces in gaming. And talking to a lot of people that we actually discuss through our sources that have certifications through us and certifications through other individuals, they say learning JavaScript actually helps you in a lot of the other languages that are out there. So like C#, C++. If you understand JavaScript, these languages are a lot easier to comprehend. So it does make a lot of sense utilizing it. And when you're creating web pages using JavaScript, you do get more interactive web pages. Our database design course is a great course. We don't sell it a lot. It's really, I don't have many high schools that offer the database design course for the fact that it's just, sometimes it can be comprehensive. Sort of like when schools are using like MOS, Microsoft products, they typically use Word, PowerPoint, Excel. They don't get into Access because it's typically a bit difficult, and they kind of stay away from it. But our database design course is a great database course. All these courses are vendor neutral, just to remind you back at the very beginning. So we're not following one specific company's application of what they're producing. But database gets into relational database fundamentals, database planning, SQL, relational algebra. And it gets into transactions and database security. So it's going to talk about security in databases. So it's a pretty good course, but I don't sell it into a lot of high schools. Great program. JavaScript, I would definitely focus in on that one because it is approved by the state. We do have a web security associate course. This course we just updated several months ago. The one thing I like about this course, getting it out to instructors in different states at the high school level and even at the college level, is a lot of people are moving to cybersecurity. That's a big push. I work in the state of Virginia as well. They're trying to get all the school districts to offer cybersecurity straight out. If you're teaching web design, this web security course is great because you actually have to understand securing your website. And this course gets into a lot of security, and it almost reaches over into the cybersecurity realm. So it's going to get into corporate network security policies. So you're going to get into the policies and procedures, authentication procedures, encryption standards and implementations, ports and protocols, that hackers manipulate. So it's teaching you what hackers, where they're trying to come in, back doors, detection, and methods to respond to those detections, and preventing the hackers getting in and managing that, and also preventing malware and viruses. It's a great course if you have an instructor that's teaching some cybersecurity, but you want to get into security on the website. I would recommend reviewing this course. As I said, all of our courses do have industry credentials tied to them. We are basically one-stop shop, and I'll show you this in a couple of these video or next slides here. So one thing that we do, we produce our curriculum, we produce resources for the curriculum like the labs, the practice tests, the assessments. We produce post-assessments to prepare them for certification exam, and we also are the certified body. We have our own certified test engine that any instructor can become a proctor. But keys to successful learning, having curriculum, resources, and assessments, everything built into one bundle makes it a lot easier for an instructor, especially a new instructor. It makes it really seamless, keeps costs down so you don't have to buy products from other vendors to have one course or one program flow. It makes it seamless so when the student logs in, they're not clicking on multiple links or opening up additional browser windows to find out where they need to go for their additional resources. The one thing that I found out, teaching is I'd have a conflict in the past with curriculum. I'd get curriculum from one vendor, and then the vendor wouldn't have all the resources, so I'd have to go to another company to get all the resources for that particular product. If the vendor actually updated their product, sometimes the resources wouldn't be updated, so there'd be a confusion, and it would confuse the students. The other thing with COVID hitting all the schools, and I talked to Bill about this earlier, I don't know what the state of Tennessee is doing as of, I know you're probably on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week, or what you're doing as of, is it going to be in-house? Is it going to be a hybrid? Is it going to be online? The one thing we saved schools with was in the fall when they shut down or went completely online, all of our resources and everything are online. Everything that you have, you can continue teaching with your students online, and you can do our certification exams online using Zoom or GoToMeeting. We allow, as long as the students have a camera that they can be viewed while they're doing the certification exam, we allow that. We have a great learning management system to support all those needs. And the other thing for successful learning is, as an instructor, professional development. How do you get more competent with what you're teaching? It's a scary thing for your administrator to say, yeah, I want you teaching this particular course, but if you're not familiar with it, it's foreign to you. It can be scary. However, we do have professional development training. We typically do the trainings in the summertime, sometimes in the winter break, we'll do some training, and we also do online training. So we can do kind of a hybrid face-to-face. With the COVID going on, most of it's going to be online now, but we do offer professional development training with courses. Learning management system, as I mentioned earlier, all the activities, the videos are all built into one system, making it easy for that student and making it very easy for the instructor. And the instructor can customize the course. They can turn particular assessments off or on by using passwords or having certain grades, certain qualifications that the student would need to do to actually move to the next particular lesson or move to the next assessment. And you as an instructor, we have already customized assessments in the system, but the instructor can actually even do more customized assessments. And the other thing and the beauty of our system, a lot of administrators will ask this, is it LTI compliant? Meaning, can you export your grades from your learning management system into Blackboard, Schoology, Moodle, Canvas, whatever you're using in the school district? And that answer is yes. It's a very simple click, and you can export those grades over to that system. This is a screenshot of our learning management system as what a student or an instructor would see. They see the same information. The instructor has a Manage tab, which is right over here to the right. This Manage tab, if you manage as an instructor, you're able to see all your students, what they're doing within the system. So if they're doing an assessment and they're answering questions, you can see how much time they spent on specific questions. So it'll say it took the student 3 minutes to answer one question. Maybe they got the answer correct. However, if it took them that long to answer that question, there may be confusion. maybe you can go in and say, you're confused between two of the distractors. What is your confusion? So the instructor can dive, they can do a micro or a macro. They can set at a macro level, look down and get into the micro of that student, what they're completing. Every course that we have is going to be set up this way. So when you see the pre-assessment, you're going to see chapters and lessons, practice tests, post-assessment. The pre-assessment exam here is, every course of ours has a pre-assessment exam. It mirrors the certification exam that we have. So there's 30 questions on the internet business. There will be 30 questions on the pre-assessment. My rule of thumb is I have the students do the pre-assessment exam at the very beginning of the course once I log them in, because I really want to know what they know. They may do terrible on it, but it's letting the student know what they're going to learn. It's also letting the student, letting me as an instructor know how much knowledge base does this student have, and I can kind of gear my class saying, I have 5 students that really know this information. Do I want to hold them back, especially online learning? I can actually mentor base those students, maybe have them move along. 95% of what the student's going to be doing is going to be in the chapters and lessons. This is where all the information is at in the course. Now, if you go over to the right here, I know it may be a little harder to read, but this does have a study plan guide, an open study planner for the student. It also gauges the student where they're at. You can see that there's 0% on this individual. This is just kind of a sample, but based on your activities to date, your readiness score, it's 0%, which is not good. If you continue at this pace, you will need 250 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. It really lets a student know you have to pick up the pace. If your class is from September to December, the teacher's going to put a parameter on that, and it'll gauge a student where they need to be, and the instructor can see this for every student. If I were this student, I wouldn't be graduating this course until I was probably in my late 30s, early 40s. However, I wouldn't be in school anymore. But it gives you that kind of detail from the macro point of view. Getting into some of the custom fits for your students' needs. So getting into the system as an instructor, the instructor can come in. This is kind of a sample of 4 lessons in Internet Business Associate, one of our courses. So you have quizzes, cards, you can see the lessons here. The instructor has the ability to come in here, and if you have a very dynamic class, you can actually shut different lessons off for different individuals. So if you don't want a student to go to lesson 2, you can shut off lesson 2 through lesson 10 if you want. Just have them work on lesson 1. You can actually set a password around that, or you can actually put a parameter on like assessments. At the end of each one of our lessons, there's an end of lesson quiz. You could say for that student, to move to the next lesson, you need to score a 90% on that end of lesson quiz to move to that. That's your goal. So you can put those parameters around there where students can move on. This is great because it allows the instructor to mentor base their students if they want to do that. Kind of just be a mediator. A lot of colleges do that. With COVID, I don't know how everything's going to work out, but it allows you to you can do more face-to-face or mentor-based type teaching with your students. So this is just kind of a sample. And if any of you would want to review any of the courses, I can give you access where you can go into these tools. We do have 3 fictional students when you review our products that you're able to run reports on, because you don't have actual students in our course content yet, but at least let you kind of see how the reports work. Our testing platform, as I mentioned earlier, we are the certified body as well. We produce the curriculum, resources, and the certification exams. One nice thing about our testing platform, it's free for schools to join. We don't charge a fee like Pearson VUE will charge a fee typically to come into your school. Hey, to be a testing provider, you have to pay this annual fee, etc. We do not charge that annual fee. We don't charge a fee for any school. There's no minimum orders. There's no maximum orders of exam vouchers. There's no expiration date on our exam vouchers as well. So if you ordered, I'll use the internet business example. If you ordered 100 vouchers for that particular course, at the end of the year, if you only tested 50 students in that course, those exam vouchers don't terminate after that end of the year. It's not like a site license. So next year, those vouchers still stay in your inventory, and you can proctor students next year or the year after. The other thing it's really nice is the exam vouchers can be exchanged. So if you had those extra 50 exam vouchers for Internet Business Associate, you can convert those into any other exam voucher as long as they're of equal price. If there's another exam voucher that's more expensive, you get a credit or debit. But you can convert exam voucher is very simple. I can convert an internet business exam voucher into a network technology exam voucher in about 2 seconds. So it's very easy to do. Being part of our testing academy, you get discounts on the exams. The exams through Pearson, all of our exams, minimum costs are typically about $150. That's a lot of money. Schools are not they're not wanting to pay that kind of money for exam vouchers. We have way reduced pricing when you're a testing provider. You get those tests at a fraction of the cost. And as I mentioned earlier with COVID and everything coming, our testing can be done online or face-to-face. So it's taken away that whole, you have to be here face-to-face because I have to see you take the exam. What happens if you can't come into the classroom because of COVID? This eliminates a lot of those factors. The other thing I wanted to kind of explain, this is kind of supplemental material. The reason I'm bringing our ICT Essential Foundation of Skills up is ICT is not a certified or certification pathway, it's a certificate pathway. We had school districts coming to us from different states wanting us to create something that could be supplemental material for instructors, especially at the lower grade levels. And the reason I'm bringing this up, I know most of the people are going to be high school instructors or administrators at the high school level, but if you have partners that are in the middle school or junior high level, this is a great program that we designed to help those teachers infuse technology into the classroom and get basically test and supplemental materials for them. So it allows those individuals at the lower grade level to basically get students better prepared for high school with these different courses. The one unique thing about ICT Foundational or our Essential program is schools can pick and choose. There's 10 lessons or 10 courses in here. There's gaming, multimedia, web design, communication, word processing, computing, program logic, cybersecurity. Schools can pick and choose what they want to offer their students. It's great because it really helps prepare that individual for that next step coming into high school. So if you're a high school instructor, you probably, I used to run into this where I get students and it's not that they didn't learn everything that they needed to learn in middle school, but they would come into my class for technology and they wouldn't even know how to do a simple spreadsheet. And I would have to reteach a lot of the methods and it would take away from my normal class. So this actually helps prepare those individuals. I do have high schools that utilize it where they'll say, I just need some complementary materials to infuse into my cybersecurity class or my web design class. So they'll actually bring some of these materials into their class. So it's something I just wanted to show you. And it's designed comprehensive, like when you're looking at the comprehensive side of it and also the reading level, it's designed for students at the lower grade level. So it's not going to overwhelm them with their knowledge base on comprehension. With that being said, as I mentioned earlier, these from 2019 to 2020, these are the areas that our certifications are approved. So if you're teaching coding 2, 6099 or 6101, our Web Foundation Series certification exam is approved by the state. Our Web Design Specialist certification exam is approved, but that one I would probably not focus in on because we're going to actually be taking that off our site because it is getting dated. But the other two I would really focus in on is the Advanced HTML5, CSS3 Specialist, and JavaScript because they are approved as well. So those are some of the things that I really would, if you want to review those courses or any other course, I can give you free access. The only thing I need to give you free access to the course content is your name, email address, and the school you're with so I can tie it into an order that doesn't cost you anything, but at least get the information out to you because I have to put it through my CRM to get you that order so you can review it. And I can give pricing on all these courses to any individual that wants to review them. But that's really, I didn't want to take much of your time because I know there's other sessions you have and other things coming up. But I just wanted to really thank you for your time and letting me present our materials. As I mentioned earlier, we have everything from start to finish, making it very easy for a school to bring in, and it doesn't make things overcomplicated. So my information's right here. It's not case sensitive. Gary Priddy with Certification Partners. My email address is gary.priddy@certification-partners.com. And then I have the website for our proprietary website, CIWcertified.com. That's where you'll find information on all the materials I just spoke about. The other website is our learning management site, which is CIWUcertified.com. The reason I have that there is because we offer other courses other than CIW courses. So if you go to that website, we have Microsoft courses, Cisco, CompTIA, Linux, Python. We have so many different courses on that site that you can purchase from us, and I can give you free access to review those. However, when it comes to those other providers like Linux or Python or CompTIA, we do not control those certification exams. I can sell all the content, the resources, the test prep. We just do not control the certification exam vouchers for those particular items because they're not our proprietary products. And the other thing for the session word for you to get credit for this presentation is bronze. So I know I went kind of fast. I know it's a lot of information, but at least it exposes you to some other providers out there that especially are accommodating for this COVID situation. But I'd love to give you free access. If there's any questions, you can chat with Bill or myself, and that's really it. Bill, I don't know if you have any questions.
I don't have anything. I just wanted to ask you before you are done to take a quick look at the chat session. There is one person who is requesting access to the training there.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I'll take a look at that. And that, Bill, that will be set, like even after this presentation, I can go into the chats and look up all the chats then? Is that a,
yeah,
that
you
correct?
should be able to see all of the chat information and process until the end of the conference. I'm not sure how long they're going to keep that open after the conference is complete on Friday, but certainly over the next few days, it'll be available.
Oh, that sounds great. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you all for the time. And I guess it's afternoon now, so good afternoon. And I'll take a look at that. So once we log off here, I can still go into it, Bill. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Also, if you're interested in reviewing the recording may not be available for several hours. It's got to process and be posted at the server. So if it's not there right away, just come on back.
I will do that. I appreciate your help, Bill. Thank you. And thank you all for attending the meeting. And like I said, you can always email me for any information. Should I stop sharing my screen now, Bill?
I'm going to shut down the whole meeting. That should just disappear.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Well, hey, you have a wonderful day. Thank you for your help.
Glad to help.